team ready to bring you the coverage of nearly 1,700 entries, almost 360 individual races. It is going to be the biggest Lucas Oil Tulsa Shootout in the history of this event, and we're excited to bring it to you. Well, welcome in my cohorts, Clinton, Chris. Good morning, guys. An early morning for us here, but it is time to fire things up at the Mecca of Micros.
Yeah, it's early morning here, and everybody's in the building. It's how to get going. We had a full day of practice yesterday that took, about 10, 12 hours or so, and then, on to today. So you're coming down that ramp. You're the first heat race on track. The track's really fresh, locked down, and, you got to go get some passing points, and it's going to be really exciting to get the day going here.
Absolutely, and it's just incredible to walk through the pit area as we got into the SageNet Center here this morning and look at the number of race cars packed into this facility. I know we talk about it each and every year, but with over 1,700 entries to just fit everyone in here, it's like a giant jigsaw puzzle, and somehow they were able to get everyone inside, and certainly everybody's fired up, ready to go, and you look at the names up and down the list that we'll go through throughout the next 4 days. It's incredible to see the amount of talent all underneath one roof.
You're going to hear us say it early and often. There is a ton of talent interspersed through this entire field. We're going to have some bangers really early in the day, as some of the biggest names that we've got up and going will be in early heat races. Today we start with the Outlaw non-wing heat races. They're going to be first up on the agenda. We follow that up with our restricted A-class heat races. Then it is the Outlaw wing class that is going, and we will finish our day off with A-class wings. We're going heat races 1 through 120 here on this Wednesday, and settle in, guys. Got a long day. There's going to be some excitement. We can guarantee it.
Oh, it certainly will be, and I know, Clinton, you were in the building for most of yesterday's hot laps. When you have that many cars on the racetrack, what's been the biggest challenge you've seen as far as everybody chasing the racetrack? Where did it start, and where did it really end at?
Yeah, I think the day started in turn 3 with everybody crashing. We had about 15 spin outs or crashes over in turn 3 before we got 20 practice sessions in. So turn 3 was really tricky. I kind of walked the track today this morning and looked it over and didn't really see some of the same soft spots that I saw yesterday. The track looked really consistent throughout, and the guys went hard to work yesterday. The track got really, really wide towards the end of the night with a big cushion, which is what we love to see here, and they went to work on it and got it refreshed for this morning. So we'll definitely keep in touch and see what's going on down on track and how it's wearing in, but some more moisture in it today than yesterday. I think it's going to last a little bit longer here to start, and then we're going to start to widen out and get some good racing in.
Certainly, turn 3 was Calamity Corner, as Chet Christner called it yesterday, as the first heat race is fired up and on the ramp, and we are just about ready to go. Heat race number 1, we are going all the way through 358 will be your final on Saturday night. So,
and like 3,400 some odd laps? Unbelievable. That'll be turned here over the next 4 days.
It is going to be absolutely crazy. As you can see, the Outlaw non-wing cars rolling down onto the racetrack. Your Outlaw non-wing division, full motor work, full cockpit adjustments, just no top wing, no nose wing. So these are wing car shootout.
Certainly, and I know a lot of the drivers that run your traditional top 4 classes usually love the non-wing portion just because of the typical finesse you have to drive these race cars around. The wing kind of adds that downforce, a little bit level of stability. But non-wing is kind of where the driver kind of takes a little bit more into their hands how their race plays out. But certainly when you talk non-wing too, and you talk about this first race of the day, this track is absolutely juiced up. It's got a lot of moisture. We saw Chili Bowl gravel running around the water wagon here this morning. So not a lot you can learn going into be the first race of the day, but obviously, Clint, it's all about passing points, so you kind of have to take what the track gives you and just go forward.
Yeah, it is, and you talk about the non-wing kind of putting it back in the driver's hands, and we're in the Outlaw division here to start, so that puts even more in the driver's hands with the cockpit adjusters and everything they can do inside the car. So if you roll off here, you got to be perfect, and you get a few chances, down the straightaways here early in the race to make some adjustments to your car to get it just a little bit better if you think that can get you 1 or 2 more spots, and those 1 or 2 spots in passing points could be the total difference in making qualifier or not.
Well, let's get a look at the lineup for heat race number 1. Heat race 1 of about 1 billion here at the 37th annual Lucas Oil Tulsa Shootout. Your pole sitter, familiar name, it's Ricky Thornton Jr. out of Phoenix, Arizona in the 20T. Next to him, it's the 4D of Brent Shoemaker from Oklahoma. Row number 2, it's the 14 of Grant Sexton. Next to him, Santino Ferrucci in the 08. Row 3, the 91J is Jackson Brenning. Outside of him, it's Ethan Ayers in car number 78 out of Missouri. The row behind them is the 08G of Stefan Sider, and then it is Kyle Shady out of Benton, Illinois in the 57K. Then Chase Porter starting in the 9th position out of St. Joseph, Missouri in the 2P. And Jeffrey Newell in the 12J starts outside row number 5 for this first heat race.
Yeah, heat race 1 here. We got a whole mix of everybody in here. As you see, the cars kind of starting to spread out. Probably give them a few hot laps here just to make sure the track's ready to go. But on the pole, Ricky Thornton Jr., a late model guy, had a huge dome this past couple months or a month ago, and had a really good run going. Didn't end up how he wanted it to, but nonetheless was still there competing. Had a really good year in the late models. You look the next row back, Santino Ferrucci ran the full season in the IndyCar, I believe, this year. And so coming in from all different disciplines, and then towards the back, Chase Porter ran sprint cars. Jeffrey Newell's a legend in the micros. So it's a whole mix here in heat race 1, and it'll be interesting to see how some of those guys adapt to this wide open fast track here at the Expo this morning.
You got to think guys like Porter and Newell, who have got a lot of shootout laps, are going to have a little bit of an advantage, albeit we've seen some very narrow tracks in the mornings in years past. Coming from the very back, they'll have a chance to make up some passing points. However, track conditions may not suit them coming too far forward.
Yeah, Jeffrey Newell said he's not here to make friends, so he's going to be elbows up here. It'll be exciting to see what he can do coming from row 5, which I believe is different this year, adding a 5th row to these heat races instead of just 4 rows and having 8 cars. So a chance for even more passing points, having 1 extra row as we go green here for just a couple hot laps to get things ran in and see how the track feels to everybody.
Good opportunity to kind of shake down the race car, see kind of where the track is at this point before we go green. But pretty cool to see Santino Ferrucci out on the racetrack, and obviously we saw him make his Chili Bowl debut a couple years ago, but wants to get the most of his track time here at the SageNet Center, and certainly doing it with Dave Mack here this year. I believe we've got a pit report before we go green. Or we don't. Let's send it. I think Connor Wade's got something for us. Connor?
Yeah, good morning, guys. Great to be with you in Tulsa here this week. Want to make note, Ethan Ayers starting 6th here in this first heat race. His Tulsa Shootout was in question. Dislocated his shoulder while snowboarding on Saturday. Got the clearance from the doctor at the beginning of this week to race in the Tulsa Shootout. Was walking around earlier with the arm in a sling, and he is going to be put in the seat right out of the gate here to start the morning here in this first heat race. So not 100% when it comes to injury, but Ethan Ayers is going to be fun to watch.
Thanks, Connor. Yeah, it was cool walking around, and we saw him kind of walk out of the trailer in the arm sling, and he said, you know what, the recovery time they told me is about a week and a half. It's day 4, and I'm racing.
All right, there you go. Reminder, passing points are on the line. This is all about the points you accumulate. If you win the heat race from the pole, you get 100 points. You get an extra 5 points from every position back that you win it from. So second, 105, third, 110, fourth, 115. This is the ASCS passing point format. You can find that full scoring chart on their website. We'll try to keep you up to date and apprised as to who's scoring what and what heats and who's going to be your high point guys coming out of it.
Yeah, quick reminder, too, thanks for tuning in with us. Make sure and tweet us where you're watching from, what's going on. We got a lot of airtime today to cover a lot of things, so we'll try to get to a bunch of shout-outs. And, tweet us at Flow, at Tulsa Shootout with the hashtag, what are we doing? Tulsa 2022? Tulsa Shootout 20?
Shootout 2022.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. Getting ready to go green on first heat race of the Tulsa Shootout 2022.
From the pole, Ricky Thornton Jr. gets a jump, and we are underway with Shootout 2022. Thornton out to a big advantage early on as the rest of the field filing into position and settling in. A lot of laps to be made, 8 laps for heat race distance. On the inside, that's Ferrucci with the white, blue, and I believe gold number 08, trying to work the inside groove and make his way into position. Right now holding down 4th.
There's Jeffrey Newell we saw creeping into the picture. You said he was here not to make any friends. Well, making some easy work from the last row all the way up inside the top 4, I believe. Top 4, top 5, as there's Newell in that 12, working his way up through the field as one got sideways in turns 1 and 2. He kept it going. Looked like it was the 78 of Ethan Ayers. So Ayers with the dislocated shoulder still trying to rip around here.
4 laps and 4 to go. Thornton Jr., your leader. Sexton second, Ferrucci third, Chatty fourth, and Ayers is in the 5th position as you watch him battle. Single file as Thornton has had his lead erased by Sexton. The gap 0.2 seconds here around Expo Raceway.
Jeffrey Newell looking inside for the 4th position. That's a huge run, 10-4. 10-5 was nice, but 10-4 is huge here for a first heat race. Really salvaging not an ideal starting spot for heat race number 1 on the day with the white flag out.
One more time around on heat race number 1 of the day, incident-free as they'll work their way out of 4. Start on the pole, you gotta win it from the pole. And the checkered flag comes out. Your winner is Ricky Thornton Jr., Sexton second, Ferrucci third, Newell fourth, and Chatty in the 5th position, then Brenning, Sider, Ayers, Porter, and Shoemaker. So taking a look at our scoring chart, a 10th to 4th place run is worth 109 points. So Newell ends up scoring higher than your heat race winner does in it. And again, starting the back, pass some cars, still got a chance to make a pretty good score.
Yeah, it was an impressive run, especially on a difficult racetrack to pass. We saw him kind of use the chrome horn a little bit there in turns 3 and 4, and then was able to kind of beat and bang his way past Ethan Ayers. So you got to do what you got to do in these heat races, but certainly impressive run for Jeffrey Newell so far. But tip of cap again to Santino Ferrucci, kind of started 4th, finished 3rd, still made his way up, and looked pretty racy in that Dave Mack car. We'll see what he can do the rest of the week.
Yeah, we're already quickly into heat race 2. Got the 1 to go signal at the line. We'll see if they shut the lights out.
We will be seeing a lot of these going off bang bang really quick, as we got a lot to get to over the course of these preliminary events. Your pole sitters, Isaiah Garcia out of Harlingen, Texas. Next to him is Jesse Maurer out of Pennsylvania. Row number 2, it's the 15 of Dylan Schott and the 71T of Tim Buckwalter. Row 3, Ethan Burdett out of North Carolina, the 14B, and Darren Nida in the 7N from Michigan. Heath Henley is in the 5G out of Pennsylvania. Austin Taborski from California in the 44T. And the back row, Randy Sims from California in the 16. And Jake Nail starting all the way in 10th in the 14 from Oklahoma. Took an early look at this one, said this could be a banger and should be fun.
Yeah, especially that outside row. I mean, you look at Buckwalter, Nida, and Nail starting there in the 4th, 6th, and 8th position. So that outside lane's going to want to get going here pretty quick as the lights are out coming to green.
Garcia's been a terror in Texas, lot of wins, and starting to dip his toes into 305 racing as well, so keep your eyes on him. He's got to get this one from the pole if he can. Green flag out. Garcia gets the jump, the black and white number 17. He will lead the pack through. Schott following him through in the 2nd position as they're banging wheels out of the corner. Buckwalter 3rd with the orange tail tank and yellow number 71 as he holds the position.
Yeah, strong move there by Buckwalter. Jesse Maurer trying to follow through in that 72 will make the pass on Dylan Schott. So Schott moves back in that 15D back to the 4th spot. As your leader, picking him up on the racetrack into turn number 1, Isaiah Garcia saying, you guys can battle. Go ahead and pull away here in this heat race. Awfully strong, as you mentioned, in Texas, and starting off his Tulsa shootout the right way just by walking the dog in this heat race.
Lap time is down in the low 11-second bracket, 11.423 the last time around for Garcia. Buckwalter even faster at an 11.245, so Timmy able to make up some ground. Let's see if he's got enough time to catch him. Meanwhile, you're looking at the race for position number 4 and 5. That's Henley working to the inside. Henley with a nice run, shuffle Schott back in position, and here comes Jake Nail following him through.
Yeah, Henley from 7th has a little bit of an issue there for the 15G or 15D of Schott. He's going to come to a stop. Something broke on the rear end of that race car. First caution of the day and of the 2022 Tulsa Shootout.
Look at the way that axle is sitting in there, Clinton. It's like you've got a bend or a break in that thing with the way that the tires are kind of folded around. All right, while we take a break, we got a car stopping on the racetrack. Let's go up top our interview for heat race number 1 winner.
Thank you very much, Caleb. Ricky Thornton Jr., this year's Lucas Oil Late Model Rookie of the Year in the micro for a first time. Your first heat race, you did win after starting on the pole. Tell me, what kind of feeling is it? Is it different than what you normally drive?
Oh, it's completely different. I had to kind of slow myself down, get the steering a little better, but we come out and win our first heat. Pretty awesome. Definitely got to thank the whole Trezor Racing, everybody, and got to give a big shout out to my little boys at home, Asher and Blaine.
Well, he's running the shootout in the Chili Bowl. Can't wait to see what Ricky Thornton Jr. can do in open wheel cars here this month. Back to you guys.
That interview is a lot less exciting than his dome interviews.
I was about to say, a little subdued.
Where's that personality the late model guys have in that interview?
It's 9:15 in the morning.
Well, a cup of coffee gets you going in the day.
That's true.
A dome interview, we needed the 7-second delay
if he can get a qualifier win, maybe he'll perk up a little bit.
Yeah.
So we are 6 laps in, 4 laps to go. Isaiah Garcia leading him down. Tim Buckwalter starts right on his way. Green flag's back out. Buckwalter loses touch with him a little bit.
We got one upside down. Our first official race flip.
Looks like Randy Sims in the 16. Yeah, first official race flip. I wasn't sure what the flip count was in practice yesterday, but we'll go ahead and start the flip count today at 1. And lucky number 1, or unlucky number 1, is the 16 of Randy Sims out of Ripken, California.
Yesterday it took us 3 practice sessions to get one upside down. Today, 2 heat races.
Wow.
So we're digressing. That's not a great thing to do.
We can see our man on the scene is Brian Ward. He is down trackside, and let's get a word with him. Brian, what's going on?
Yeah, guys, there doesn't look to be a whole lot of damage on the 16 cars. They're going to try and refire it. But I did hear the last car that came to a stop on the racetrack, it was the torsion arms that stripped out on the torsion bar and dropped the arm down. That's what happened to that rear axle.
All right, thank you, Brian, as we get them lined back up. 6 laps complete in this 8-lap heat race. So first flip of 2022 shootout. And we'll line them back up for a 2-lap shootout. Isaiah Garcia had a whopping lead there before the yellow flag. Timmy Buckwalter there in the 71T in second. Jesse Maurer third. Heath Henley from 7th up to 4th. Then it's Nail, Shot, Nida, Sims.
6 laps in, 4 to go here around Expo Raceway. Garcia through 3 and off of 4, brings it back to green with Buckwalter in tow. To the inside. Everybody hugging the bottom of the racetrack as you get a look at action. Back in position 4, 5, and 6. Everybody jockeying for those final passing points that they can pick up here in this heat race. Getting a look at Jake Nail as caution on the racetrack once again.
I believe that was the checkered.
Checkered flag is out. Isaiah Garcia, your heat race number 2 winner. Tim Buckwalter second. Jesse Maurer third. Heath Henley fourth. Jake Nail finishes with a top 5 starting deep in the field. Then it's Darren Nida in 6th. Austin Taborski in 7th. Ethan Burdett, your Millbridge Speedway Saturday points champion, finishing 8th. And then it's Sims, Randy Sims 9th, and Dylan Schott in 10th. So that's the heat race number 2 finish.
Early in the morning, I forgot they were lap heat races.
It's all right. We
happens.
got 120 of them today, so you get a mulligan.
There's my one mistake for the week.
Get a look at the ramp there. There's McDougal sitting in his K1 suit.
That's
over
a
on
fresh,
the
clean new suit.
Yeah.
His Seattle Kraken themed K1 suit.
Yeah, so he's tuned in, watching, seeing what's going on for. He gets on track. Frank Flood over on the left side, standing there, hat crooked as always, watching on. As our lights are out, we're about to go green here.
All right, Joe Askew's on the pole with Bobby Bazin next to him. That's the 78 and 120. Tyler Smith and Jason Trosper in row 2. Zach Drummond and Richie Harvey in row 3. Blake Battles, Randy Wagner Jr. in row 4. Sam Johnson and Tony Pennick in row number 5. Green flag out.
4 wide into turn 1 there. In the sandwich is the 57. 67 to Randy Wagner Jr. as they get collected, and one after another, and one upside down.
Ended up on all 4s. Rubberside ended up down as you look at the 88 of Tony Pennick, the one who got the worst of that. And caution flag out on the racetrack.
Style points landing on all 4s. Pennick, we had talked yesterday, Caleb, before the shootout started, about his hard-fought 2021 shootout, which was filled with motor problems, had some donations, got a motor, but was able to join us here again with brand new stuff as we go back to the top of the ramp and speak with Heat 2 winner with Connor Wade, excuse me.
Hey, thank you very much, Chris. It's going to be a long week, so don't worry about it. But Isaiah Garcia, you've started 2 Tulsa Shootout A-mains in your career. Do you feel like you've done what you need to do so far in the non-lead class to maybe have a shot at that A-main?
Yeah, we felt good in our hot lap session yesterday, and to come out with a heat race win to start off the week, it feels pretty good.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
Big win for Isaiah Garcia in Heat 2. Let's go back to you guys.
All right, appreciate it, Connor. Safety crew attending to everything that's going on in corners 3 and 4 right now here at the Expo Raceway. Get a look at the 67 of Wagner, who we saw trying to shoot the gap early in that. 51, I believe that's Jason Trosper that you're looking at, who's on the hook and pulling off. So Trosper, Wagner Jr., and Pennick, 3 cars involved in that wreck. We did show some of the cars crossing the line to get the lap complete. We'll see how the official scoring loop ends up calling it. Mind you that we are at the mercy of the scorers, and we are not next to them. So some of this we have to come into as they reset scoring loops and come from behind on. We'll do our best to keep you up to date as to what's happening. But right now they're single file and acting as if the cars that have completed the lap have completed the lap, and we're going to move forward as if there's 1 down and 7 to go.
Trosper off on the hook will be the first official retiree of a heat race here today, as he was unable to rejoin. We'll try to get the 67 refired of Randy Wagner Jr. But that all started there with 4 wide entering turn 1, which is tough to do, especially on a racetrack like this where it's got a lot of moisture in it, slipping and sliding, and followed all the way to turn 3.
So they are recrossing this field. Mind you, passing points are calculated from where you are on the initial drop of the green flag. So now that cars have exited the lineup, those cars who are at the back of the field are actually picking up some bonus passing points already due to people dropping out. Front row, staying the same. It's the 78 of Joe Askew. He's from Chestnut Ridge, New York. And Bobby Bazin from New Harmony, Indiana, making up the first row. Tyler Smith inside row number 2 from Forest Grove, Oregon. Trosper now out of the lineup, so that moves up. It looks like Zach Drummond to the outside of row number 2. Drummond is out of parts unknown. As lights are out and off the corner, we go green. 59 of Richie Harvey did not get a good start on the outside of the second row. He'll drift back a little bit. Front 3 on a breakaway into corner number 3 as they jostle for the lead. Give it to Askew on lap number 1, but in hot pursuit are Bazin and Smith.
Smith and the 8 car looking really good, trying to vie for the lead there in 3 and 4. Looks like he's still just working the inside of your leader, trying to find a way to get that win. That might be the opening he needs.
Tyler Smith looking inside. Gap opened up by Askew, who's carrying the left front tire in the air coming off the corner. Smith just has that car glued a half groove lower, but can he make it stick?
Yeah, Smith running a nice open entry into the corner, able to carry a lot more speed, but unfortunately your leader's just got it pinned too far down on the racetrack, can't make a move. He may have the door open here into 3.
That's just one of those things where you're in second, you can afford to be on attack mode, and you're from the leader, you can't afford to slip like Askew does right there, which lets Smith get by. So we'll see if Askew can go on the attack mode here, and Smith plays a little bit defensive.
Really good battle for the lead here in heat race number 3 as Smith begins to pull away just a little bit. 6 laps down, 2 to go.
Tyler Smith has opened her up and looking for a good heat race win. He'll be the first guy to win from a position that wasn't the pole. Started 3rd. It's going to be worth 110 points if he can finish her off. As he's coming around to the checkered flag, your winner is Tyler Smith. Give 2nd to Askew. Give 3rd to Bazin. Battles Harvey, Johnson, Pennick, and then Drummond. So 110 for Smith. He is your high point guy unofficially at this point in time.
Yeah, that car looked really good out on the racetrack, was able to kind of maneuver and like Clinton said, be on attack mode and made the most of the opportunity. Good run for Blake Battles as well. A couple-time A-main starter, 7th to 4th in that heat race.
Yeah, Askew's car just looked a little bit more tight, and we'll kind of get into what that means a little bit later on in the day, but he was toting that left front around there. Just wasn't able to carry as much speed. So we'll dissect all that here in a little bit later today as we move on to heat race number 4.
And let's tell you who's in it. It's the Olstrom family heat race. As Tristan Olstrom's on the inside of row number 1. He's from Falcon, Colorado. And next to him, it's Scotty Milan out of Fort Collins, Colorado next to him. Austin Olstrom right behind the 28U. Caleb Pence from Oklahoma, the 8P. Landon Ellis in 68. Colby Sokol in 2-4. Then following them, it's going to be Garrett Twitty in the 4. Reese Shelton in the 5X. The R7, Kyle Spence on the fence. Kyle Spence from Baird, Delaware. And James Morris, the 75X. Green flag. Milan's got the jump. Pence following him through. So Milan and Pence 1 and 2 in the early going is the outside. Got the good start as you're looking at side-by-side action off the corner. Working hard to the inside. That is Kyle Spence with the white and red trim. Trying to fight his way forward on this field. Got a deep heat race draw. But Spence already threatening the top 5. He is 7th at the moment. Now trying to catch up on the back of Olstrom. Meanwhile, the 5X of Reese Shelton in the 4th position as we're going to look forward on the field. Caleb Pence in 2nd in the 8P. Colby Sokol on his tail looking to move forward, and Pence has closed in on Milan as well.
Yeah, your front 3 cars look really racy right now as we keep an eye on that Rodella Motorsports machine of Kyle Spence, a driller winner here a couple years ago, trying to march his way forward from the back as once again we focus on this battle for 2nd. Caleb Pence has it, Colby Sokol wants it.
They work down the back straightaway, and quickly we're going to see a white flag this next time around. So rapid moving heat race. Milan's been in control. Best battle on the track for 2nd and 3rd with Pence and Sokol. They're right there in case Milan makes a mistake. Into the final corner, give the win to Milan, and Pence will hold on for 2nd.
Sokol, Shelton, Morris your top 5, and Kyle Spence crosses the line in 6th. Though Spence probably wishes he had a few more laps, gain a couple positions, but solid win there for 2nd to 1st for Scotty Milan.
Yeah, I was watching Kyle Spence that last couple laps there, and he really tried to make the top side work and just wasn't quite able to do it. So we'll watch that here in the coming heats, and with that, we'll throw it on up top to Connor Wade.
All right, down here with Tyler Smith pitching up a big win in heat race number 3. Tyler, 3rd place finish in last year's stock non-winged A-main. Now in non-winged outlaw, do you feel like you are up for a strong run here this week?
Man, we have a really good car, really good motor package, really good injection package this year. I think if we can just keep our nose clean and push hard through the week, we have a really good shot to sit top 5 in the show, at least to start.
It's early in the day, but how's the racetrack at this point?
Man, I mean, we hate that early pill when we're starting those early races. It's not very racy usually, so we're just lucky to have gotten past the cars we did, and hopefully it widens up as the day goes on.
That's Tyler Smith. Back to you guys.
Green flag already out for heat race number 5. Tyler Kuykendall was on the pole with Chase Cabry 2nd. Look at the 3-wide battle off of turn number 4. You're looking at Garth Kaesner, Drake Edwards, and as I say that, the 21G of Kaesner spins out in turns 1 and 2 for the first caution of heat race number 5.
That's really unfortunate for Garth because the yellow was out before he spun out. He was not the initial cause of the yellow, but he will still have to go to the tail. The initial cause of the yellow was a mud cover coming off in turns 3 and 4, and if I believe it was maybe off the 1 car, is that Crouch?
Brenham Crouch, who was involved with Garth on that spin out.
Yeah, we'll see if our camera guys can get a shot of the outsides of those cars as they come by to see who maybe that came off of. And, you know, that's something that's been a hot topic here these last couple of years here at the shootout in Chili Bowl is keeping your mud covers, you know, fastened. And the Chili Bowl switched over to the bolt format instead of just a Zeus-on form of the mud covers. So, you know, early deal coming off there, and I'm surprised no one got penalized for it.
Let's quickly go back up top to Connor, who's got heat race number 4 winner.
Yeah, you got former Power Micro winner Scotty Milan up here real quick. Scotty, pitching up a heat race win. Tell me quickly how you got it done.
I just had to get him on the start. I knew that'd be where the win was because there wasn't much passing. It was just a bottom lane.
Best of luck to you.
Thank you.
Scotty Milan, we'll go back to you guys.
Back underway, heat race number 5, clean and green for the first circuit around as battle for second's really heating up as one car starts to slow down in turns 1 and 2. The 77A of Preston Norbury from Chino Valley, Arizona. We're still green as your leader continues to be Tyler Kuykendall. Chase Cabry in 2nd. Longtime micro veteran back once again behind the wheel, Chase Cabry out of Mooresville, North Carolina. There's a good battle back in the mid part of the field. Got Kaesner trying to work his way back up. Battle here on the inside. And it looks like it's going to be the 05R. That's Brandon Riviera up to the 3rd position.
Yes, Riviera 4th, going to try to work by Brenham Crouch in 3rd. Brenham keeps opening himself up for attack, trying to get around Cabry there. So it'll be an interesting last few laps here to see if Riviera can sneak by Crouch.
Who pulls the trigger when as the laps continue to wind down? Coming across to the white flag here, Brenham Crouch trying to get by. Crouch, midget competitor here, part-time for Keith Kunz Motorsports in 2021. But off of turn number 4, virtually untouched, the 8K Tyler Kuykendall wins heat race number 5. Cabry will hold on to second, Brenham Crouch third, Brandon Riviera fourth, and Drake Edwards fifth. Elkins, Taft, Hamblin, Garth Kaisner, and Preston Norbury round out the field. So quickly, heat race number 5 is done. Good look on our speed shot here of the Tulsa Expo Raceway. Turn number 3 and 4, you start to see it widen out just a little bit.
We saw a little bit there, yeah, starting to widen out, and you know, we talk about, you know, this track starting to move, and when it does move, it's going to move pretty quick. When that second groove comes in, you can just carry more momentum up there and be a lot faster. So we'll keep an eye on that. I'd say we're about 3 or 4 heat races in from just having a 2-groove racetrack where some guys are going to try to defend on bottom and some guys are going to attack on the top.
Gonna get awfully fun when that happens. Race number 6 on the track. Autumn Christie on the pole. Sammy McNabb is next to her. Then Russ Dissinger and Thomas Hasler in row 2. Caleb Martin, Will Purdue in row number 3. Jace Randolph, Grant Schott row 4. And Brandon Boggs and Weston Gorham in row number 5. First chance to see if the top's up here, bud.
Yeah, he's going to have an opportunity from the back, Brandon Boggs. So we'll see if he throw it. We know he'll throw it up top, especially now, as you can see, with that track widening out. When it does, it'll be there.